Hello, guys. Good evening. How are you, everyone? Hello, hello. Um let's just wait for a few minutes so then people they can come. We have some people arriving already. Hello, guys from America. Hello, guys from Ireland. Guys from the UK. From all over the world. Australia. Guys from Brazil. Nice to have you all here. Thanks for Kardec Radio to have us here tonight, supporting us. I hope everyone is doing okay. So, guys, unfortunately, Stevan, he won't be able to make tonight with us, but we're gonna be here. So let's just wait 2 more minutes. Then we can start doing our initial prayer. Hello, guys. Hello. So let me just check here if my sound is okay. I guess the sound is good. Okay, guys. So we're gonna be doing our initial prayer as we normally do, and I would like to invite everyone to close their eyes. Hello, Paula. Good evening. So let's do our initial prayer. So let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath. Trying to forget about all the troubles that we have outside. Try to concentrate our minds and our hearts here tonight in the gospel of our Master Jesus and the good spirits. Let's be thankful for everything that we have. Let's be thankful for our lives, for everyone that we have in our life. Let's be thankful also for the hard moments because they have built us and helped us to be where we are. Thank God for this another opportunity to be here talking about the gospel of our Master in the spiritual side of Ireland with the support of Kardec Radio. Thanks for this wonderful opportunity. Let's start. So be it. Okay, guys. So let's. The previous week we were talking the chapter 13. We are now on item 17. So the chapter is called "Not Let Your Left Hand Know What Your Right Does." Okay. So tonight we're gonna be talking from item 17, which is called compassion, which I believe is a quite misinterpreted feeling, sentiment. Some people they believe compassion is pity, but pity at the same time some people think it's bad. And we're gonna see here with the help of the spirits how we can explain a bit more about compassion. And first thing here, we see the spirits they say to us that compassion is the virtue that brings us closer to God. Is the sister of charity. So is the kind of sentiment which conduct us straight away to the good spirits and to God. Why? Because once you have compassion, you have love, sympathy for the others. So that's why compassion is a great sentiment that we're gonna try to be understanding a little bit here tonight. Hey Don, good evening, man. Thanks for having you here. And here, the spirits they say to us that compassion and pity, once deeply felt, are acts of loving, and love is devotion. Devotion is forgetfulness of the self in it, and it's combined with abnegation, and it helps us to support the less fortunate ones. So here it's quite nice. Hello, Leandro. When he says to us that compassion and pity, once we deeply felt it from our hearts. Why? Because sometimes we see someone on the streets or we see someone having a hard time and we have pity, and someone says to us, "Oh, don't pity me, don't have pity on me," things like this. But here the spirits are talking about a different type of pity. They are saying that once we really care about that person, once we see that person suffering in a difficult situation, this pity and compassion, which comes from our heart, is good, it's pure, because we care about the suffering of the others. We're gonna be trying to do something. And of course, there will be situations where we cannot act, we cannot do anything in order to support that person. Yeah, for sure, these situations will come. But as the Spirit says here to us, as we always say here, that sometimes the best thing you do to that person when that person is in that situation, if you cannot act, a bit closer, is to say a prayer, in silence from your heart. Try to send good vibration to that person, or perhaps once you can, go and try to talk to that person, of course, when things are a bit cooler. But here it says to us that compassion and pity was taught by the divine Messiah, which we believe it's Jesus, of course, according to the Spiritist traditions. And here he says that Jesus was the one who acted fully in compassion about everyone. Because let's imagine like this. If we are Spiritists here, okay, and if we believe in Jesus as a good, not as the only, but as one of the greatest spirits which has come here to earth to help us, we understand that he knows a lot. He has a lot of time in his existence. So he is what we call a high evolved spirit. Being a high evolved spirit, he does not feel certain feelings that we humans we still feeling, such as anger, such as envy, such as demotivation, such as jealousy or things like this. In the level of Jesus, he's here and we are here. But once we came to earth, he never said to everyone, "Hey, I'm here, you are here. Oh, poor you." No, what he did, he leveled himself down. The poet Khalil Gibran says that in a beautiful poem called Defeat, where he says that to be great is to level yourself down. And that's what Jesus did to us, and that's what the gospel according to Spiritism says here to us, that we should level ourselves down. Once we feel compassion to someone, even if we know that person perhaps is in that situation because he or she chose to be in that situation, once we feel compassion, we level ourselves down, not to try to be less, but try to understand that perhaps this way that person, that spirit decides to choose, decides to perceive, is the way that we did before. So we probably committed the same mistakes. Of course, we have to understand that each one of us, we have our own time, we have our own decisions, we have our free will. But the free will, because I know, let's say that someone he's in a bad condition right now, even if I know that person quite deeply and I know what that person did, it does not make me allowed, or does not give me permission or the right to don't feel compassion to that person. That's what the spirits are saying to us here. That compassion, once it's sincere, it's like the closest feeling, the closest sentiment, which brings us straight to God. You know, and it says also that compassion is the sentiment which destroys selfishness and pride. Why? Because I put myself in the other's shoes. I care about the other. I try to see how the other is seeing the world with his own glasses, not with my glasses. I try to put myself in their shoes. That's compassion, and that's what the spirits are saying here to us. That's why they say to us that in certain situations we should not become indifferent. So once we see someone suffering in the street, we think, "Oh, it's not my problem." Let's say if you are a spiritist, okay, you see someone suffering in the street and you start to think, even if you don't say, you think here inside, you see, there is the law of action and reaction working. Oh, that person is in that difficult situation because probably he did something bad in the past. That's what we spiritists we say sometimes. Even if we don't say, we think. Let's admit, guys. But let's say if you are not a spiritist, you look at that person who is having a hard time, and you still think, that person deserves that because that person did this and that or whatever. But the spirits, again, they are saying here to us that once we see this and we don't act with compassion, once we become indifferent, we are in a big, big trouble here, guys. Because it says to us that those ones who are indifferent, who is perhaps try to say to society and the others that oh, they are good and they care, but inside they don't really care about the other because they believe that the other is suffering because the other deserves. We are like the Dead Sea, as he says here. At the bottom, it's hidden with a lot of putrid corruption. That's the word that he used. So it's full of dirty. So on the top, it's nice, but inside, deep inside, you have a lot of dirt. So he's asking us to be careful with the indifference feeling that perhaps we see the others in a difficult situation, and then once we start to believe, once we start to really think that they deserve what they are having because they have done something, and that's not the way to think. Even if we know that the other person did something, we should have compassion to them. That's what Jesus did to us. If you take in other gospels, when he tried to teach a lesson to someone, most of the times you will see that he knew what that person did. Even if he knew, he still acted with compassion. Remember the woman who was going to be stoned by the Pharisees in the temple. Jesus said the most famous, one of the most famous phrases in the gospel: throw the first stone, whoever does not have sin on himself or herself. In himself, because there were only men that time, according to the gospel. History speaking, there were only men there. So what we are trying to say that Jesus, he wasn't really admiring what that woman did, but he wasn't indifferent. He was there, he saw what she did, he tried to teach her a lesson, but he felt compassion in his heart in order to help her. So he said, he thought maybe, I should go and help her. Why? Because this level that she is now, maybe he was in the past. According to the spirit of Emmanuel, Jesus is a spirit like us who evolved. However, Jesus did not evolve on earth. According to Emmanuel, the book On the Way of the Light, Jesus had evolved in previous planets, in previous places that we are not aware of. There is no, as far as I'm aware, there is no spiritist book that is quite trustable which says, where or when or something like this. But we know that he's quite an old spirit. But whatever place he was, he had to pass through the same challenge that we are facing here right now, because that's what the progression of the spirits does with us. It makes us pass through the same situations, not at the same time, in order to us to progress. So Jesus knew, um, what she was going through, but that's why he had empathy, towards her. That's why he had this compassion feeling. If you guys have any questions, guys, I talk too fast, please go ahead. Okay. And here, guys, it's so nice. At the end of item 17, he says, the spirits, they say, compassion then is the melancholic but celestial precursor of charity, being the first of all virtues, which she has for a sister and whose benefits she prepares to ennoble the others. So here you see is a celestial precursor of charity. So once we start to feel compassion, we are towards charity. Why? Because once we start to place ourselves in the other's position, we are start to thinking about the others. We start to caring about the others. Then perhaps with time we're gonna be able to help the others. Because first we don't go and start to act in charity. That's what they are here trying to say here. That's why compassion is the precursor of charity, so comes first. So in order to us to be able to act in charity, we have to feel empathy first towards that person. Once we feel empathy towards that person, we go and we start to act in charity. I hope that makes sense, guys. You know, so here the spirits, they are trying to explain to us that how important compassion is in our lives. Not only here in the Gospel according to Spiritism, once we are talking about the teachings of Jesus or the other spirits. No, but they are trying to say to us that that's important in our daily life. As we said, maybe we have a friend who perhaps is in a difficult situation, and maybe we're very close to that person, and we know why that person is in that position. Some of us, we have a people with alcohol problems, drug problems. Some of us, we say, he deserves to be in this situation because he decided to drink first. he decided to take the first drug, So we become the judges, but we don't know uh, who that spirit is. We don't know what's inside that spirit, And even if we knew, we should not judge that person because that person is in that situation, but we should try to help. Of course, there are times which that person who is in a difficult situation does not want our help, and that's okay. There is nothing we can do. But as we said before, at least we can try to send good vibrations, good prayers to that person. And here, the spirits they start to talk about the orphans, and makes a lot of sense to the spirits to talk about the orphans because if you remember, this book was written in the 1860s, if I'm not mistaken. At that time in France and in Europe and all over the world, we had so many orphans, kids on the streets. Of course, we still have nowadays, but that time, guys, was even worse because nowadays we have institutions, we have the government, not everywhere, unfortunately, who are trying to help these kids whenever it's possible. But the time that Kardec lived, there was no help whatsoever from the government. Who was helping that orphans? Only those who had pure hearts and one who had empathy to them. And the spirits are saying here to us that God permits orphans to exist in order that mankind can see them and feel their pain and perhaps to soften up their hearts in order to help those kids. So sometimes we think an orphan is a poor spirit, but perhaps that orphan it comes inside of your life, or a poor kid or someone who is in a difficult situation, and we think we are helping them, but no, they are helping us. They are helping us to create compassion inside our hearts. They are helping us in order to make ourselves to become more aware of the suffering of the others. So they are instrument of God in order to wake us up. So that's what the spirits are saying here to us. And here they say to us also that whenever you see an orphan, but I'm going to open up here the term orphan, whenever you see someone suffering, not only an orphan, the spirits they say to us, be aware, because that person perhaps who is suffering now could have been a dear spirit that you had in a previous life. And if that spirit came close to you, maybe we're not saying that that happens all the time, that spirit has some relation to you. Then you are not having pity for that person, for that orphan, for that poor people on the street, but you are on the contrary, you are just doing your duty. Because if you had a relation with that spirit, you must, I mean, we all must help each other, but in that case perhaps we even must more, to help that person. So the spirits are saying to us here that all the sufferings, all the orphans, all those ones, that elder ones in the in the asylums, they are our brothers and sisters. Of course, it's so beautiful to say that Tuesday night on the spiritual side of Island. But how can we put that into practice, guys? Sometimes we have to see that only by the act of being nice with someone who is a beggar on the street is an act that could help that person, because you are showing that person dignity. You are not seeing that person as just someone poor who deserves to be there. No, you are showing them respect. So here, of course, they are talking about orphans here, but as we said, we can open up here. And here it's quite nice when he says, just a second. Here he's saying that once we are open, as we said before, once we are open these orphans, or once we are open those in a difficult situation, we should not give that charity which hurts that person. You are passing and that person needs some help, you just go there and throw a coin, but you don't look in their eyes. You don't show to them respect. You don't show to them dignity. So this kind of charity is not good for God, the spirits are saying here. The spirits are saying to us, act with your own heart. Of course, sometimes we want to help, but to have sorry, we have some psychological difficulties, we have fear. I know a person who was in a mental hospital once in São Paulo. She told me that story, that once she was there, she went to help the poor there, the people who had mental diseases, and she was afraid. And according to her, and I believe her 100%, a spirit came, and appeared on her mind, saying, "Calm down. He's not gonna hurt you. He just wants a hug. He just wants to be heard. He just wants to be felt a human." And then once she told me that, I thought that was quite powerful, because sometimes when someone, an orphan, or someone who perhaps has a mental disease, or someone who is in a difficult situation, approach us on the street, what the first thing we do? Hey, stay away. Of course, we have to be careful. We don't know who that person is. I understand that. But even if sometimes we understand that that person will cause us no harm, we still say, no, come on, you are there. Stay there. Please don't touch me, or something like this. I understand. Maybe that person is dirty or whatever. Maybe that person was drinking. And I understand that. But sometimes, guys, let's try to act with dignity towards that person. And unfortunately, we have a lot of those people here in Dublin, not only Dublin, all over the place, in Brazil, in America, but here, because of the drinking problem that the country has, some people, we see people like this on the streets, and it's hard to help them. Of course it is. And there are, thank God, many, many people who are helping, supporting them, people who are doing their charity work. But if you are in a situation like this, try to think twice, try to have some empathy, and now let's not only put that person away. Maybe give a second. Maybe try to calm down yourself and try to understand, try to be cool. Of course, you don't have to bring that person home. I'm not saying that. But at least try to respect that person. And here in the item 18, why the spirits are saying that to us? In the end, the spirits, they say to us something very, very powerful. Consider that by doing good, you are only working for your own benefit, as well for those who you love. So, what we have to understand from this part here is simple. Once we are helping the others, we are helping ourselves first. Yes, we are supporting, we are helping those in need. Yeah, it's true. But at the same time, we are here and we are helping ourselves. And it's like if we if we knew only, how powerful it is to this exchange of energy. That's why we have, for example, Givaldo Franco helping so many kids over 70 years in his life. Of course, he does that because he's a good man, but it wasn't easy for him at all in the beginning. But he understood that once he's helping those kids, those poor kids, he's helping himself also. So is he doing that because he wants to have the benefits? No, he's doing that for sure, I believe, deep from his heart. But this mechanism of receiving the benefits of the good spirits exists, guys. That's why once we are helping the others, we are helping ourselves. At the same time, once we are hurting the others, we are hurting ourselves. Once we betray someone, yes, maybe you are betraying that person, you are causing some damage to that person, but let's remember that you are the most affected one. Let's not forget these guys, you know? And here in the Gospel according to Spiritism, we have a question like we have in the Spirit's book, where the Spirits ask us in the question, in the item 19, what should be taught of those who, on receiving ingratitude in payment for benefits they have done, cease practicing good because they are no longer get on with those who are ungrateful. So basically, he's asking us, for those that we treated nice before, and those people are ungrateful with us, should we be stopping doing nice things to them? Should we be stopping, once? That's what the spirits are saying to us. And so many of us, we do this. We have people in family who are nice with us, and we are helping them, or in friends or something like this. But once they are ungrateful with us, we stop helping them. We say, I helped that person, and that person didn't care. I'm not going to help anymore. So why are we helping? Are we helping only to receive praising? only to make our ego and our pride bigger, stronger. Is that why we are doing? Are we helping the others? Because if you are helping the others only to praise their gratitude, then you are making a mistake. Let's see what the Spirit says here to us. There is far more selfishness in these people than charity, seeing that they do good only for the purpose of receiving demonstrations of knowledge and acknowledgement of the consequence. They do not, inconsequently, they do not really deserve that. So what they are saying to us here, so those ones, they are not really doing anything good, because they just want to receive. And like Jesus said in the Gospels, whoever is doing here on earth only to receive the gratification of earth, once you go to the spiritual world, the spirits, they will say, of course, the spirit, they don't say, your conscience says to you, okay? Jesus said that in the gospel, that once, you do your things here on earth, you will not receive the treasures on heaven also, because everything that you did was only to receive gratitude here, okay? But once we think like this, guys, we should not think that there is a spirit going to be pointing fingers towards us. No, but our conscience will say to you, like this: yes, Wanderley, you helped this person, that person, that person, that person, but you only helped because you want to receive a thank, because you only want them to be thankful to you. You want just to make yourself a bit more prideful. You want to receive, the glorification of the others. And we do that sometimes, but the spirits are quite clear. That's no charity. So just let's be careful, guys. And here, in the end, he says what we said: those who seek reward on earth for the good they have done will not receive them in heaven, like we said in the gospel. However, God will esteem all those who do not seek the rewards on earth. So here, as we said, once you do things from your heart, you're going to receive goodness. But once you do good things only to receive, then you are failing the purpose, you are failing the idea. Hello, Patrocinio. And here, guys, uh, here the Spirit says something quite interesting to us. If God permits that sometimes you are paid with ingratitude, this is only to test your perseverance to practice goodness. So again, I'm gonna talk about the poet Khalil Gibran in this beautiful poem called "Defeat." He explains to us how much he had suffered, how much he lost, not suffered, but how much defeat he has faced in his life. So how much ingratitude perhaps he would have faced. And here, as the Spirit say to us, sometimes all this trouble that we have in life, all this ingratitude for the others, all this difficult time, even once we are doing good, is only to test ourselves. Because let's take, of course, Jesus. Someone may ask me, Vanderlei, so that's why Jesus suffered. No, not really, because Jesus did not, he wasn't a spirit who had to learn anything new, according to what we believe in Spiritism, of course, okay? Any other philosophy or religion can believe in anything they want, that's fine. But because he's a pure spirit, he did not have to learn anything new, you know? So he didn't have to, God did not have to trust to test him. That's what we are trying to say. But even though he suffered, but he suffered because mankind have free will and they decide to act against him. But sometimes we see good people on earth who are suffering a lot. And that's what the spirits are saying here to us. Sometimes this ingratitude and these sufferings only come because God is trying to test us to see if we really want to stay here in this path of goodness, which is not easy. And here, guys, there is something that we have to understand, that whoever really follow the path of goodness, whoever really do good despite of the ingratitude of the others, is being the good servants. Joanna Georgili says to us that once we start to love the others, serve the others without caring, if they're gonna say thank to us, or if they're gonna be nice to us, we start to come to a stage that we start to be a bit more evolved, spiritually speaking and mentally also. Here in ourself on earth, we start to become a bit more, we become less attached to certain small things that hurts ourselves daily, such as pride, you know. We are become more evolved psychologically speaking, according to Joanna de Angelis. So that's not an easy path to follow, because we all like to someone to thank what we do, but sometimes that won't happen. There is a beautiful scene in the movie about Givaldo Franco. Maybe I'm not sure, Dom, if you have this movie about Givaldo with English subtitles. If I find, I might try to send to you, but you can try to Google it, Givaldo Franco, in English. You may find it. But there is a beautiful scene when Givaldo was trying to help a homeless, and that homeless throw his face, his feces, and his piece, you know. And Givaldo, he seemed annoyed in the movie, and that's based on what Givaldo explained to the director of the movie. But the other guy who was with him, I forgot his name. Sorry, guys, I forgot the Givaldo's partner who was helping him in Mansão do Caminho in Brazil. He was really annoyed, you know. Uh, then Givaldo holds this friend of him and say, "Calm down, man, because it's really easy, you know, to help those who like us. It's really easy to help those who thank us. It's really easy to help those who are on our side. However, the one who will really receive the reward of the good spirit is that one who does all the good things towards that one who hurts us. You know, that's gonna be the one who's gonna be rewarded." And that I forgot his name, Nilson, yeah. Nilson was shocked with Divaldo's action, but he understood later on. He says that in an interview. So we have to understand that sometimes we're gonna be only damaged by those we help. But the Spirit says here to us that everyone that we help and act with ingratitude with us, it's their problem. We are doing our part. Let's not forget this. The law of action and reaction, the universe is perfect and it's just. So once we do something good, which perhaps we believe no one saw, no one did it, no one cared about, or even if we felt that someone was who acted with ingratitude towards us, let be. Because if you really did that good with good intentions in your heart, you will receive that reward from the spirits. And that spirit who was ungrateful with you, once he's in the spiritual world, he's going to remember what you did. And that spirit, according to the gospel, according to the spiritism here, is going to feel a lot of shame on himself. And he knows that he must help you, not he deserves, he must help you in some way. So that spirit who before was ungrateful with you would be a spirit who will try to help you perhaps from the spiritual world in this life if he passes away first, or maybe if you pass away first on the next life, that spirit will have a debt with you. That's what these spirits are saying here. Sorry, Don. Yeah, I thought maybe you could try to find in English. I'm not sure if you can find on Netflix, but I'm not too sure. Sorry, man. But it's a really nice movie, talking about the history of Divaldo Franco and Mansão do Caminho, the Mansion of the Way, which is the institution that he and Nilson helped about created 70 years ago. And keep going here. The spirits, they come to us here, and the spirits say something quite beautiful. "All my friends, if you knew all the ties that link your present life with those of past existences, you could, if you only could see the immense number of relationships that joins us to one another for the purpose of the mutual progress." So if you only could see how much ties which connect us for the purpose to help one another, to support one another, we would act perhaps different. So what he's trying to say to us that we are all connected here. There is no him or her, him or she, he or her. I'm mixing here. Sorry, guys. But you see, there is no the other. We are all connected here. That's what he's trying to say. And you find that also in a movie called The Shack, when in the end of the movie, it's a book also, when that's a spirit there, which I think is present, it's God, in the movie, says that to the man, to Mike, I think he's the name of the guy, that we're all connected. Once you have another really nice movie based on the book of Carl Sagan, I forgot the name of the movie, that in the end also the father of the girl, of the subject of the character of the movie, says that we are all connected and they are trying to support us. So there is no others. We are all, connected at the same time. So all these ties are there, but we don't see. We see that the other who is suffering is the other. I don't care. I'm different. I'm not suffering. So probably God likes me. And that's not really the case. Now, God likes us. What I'm trying to say that God not only likes you, but likes all of beings. And here in the question, in the final part, the item 20, the spirits, they ask us, is it right to practice beneficence exclusively amongst people of the same opinions, beliefs, and political parties? So he's basically saying to us, so we should only be nice for those who likes what we like, for those who believe in what we believe, or for those who practice the same faith that we practice. The spirits say no, of course not. They are saying to us here that we are all a brotherhood. Mm, we are humankind is a huge brotherhood. We are all connected, as we said before. And he says to us that he's asking us here, would a Christian be obeying the precept of Jesus, who told us to love our enemies, if they were to repel an unfortunate person just because they believe in something different than us? So if you say that you are a Christian or believe in something, you know, um, would Jesus, the one who spoke about the Good Samaritan, who spoke about those ones, who are from different tribes at the time that he was living, who do for Jesus, the one who said to us that we should love our enemies, would he say, okay, if you don't believe in what I say here, you're not my friend, you're not my disciple, go away? No, he would never say that. He never did that, because he understood that we are all brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter what you believe, what you like, what you don't like, what you do. I don't care. We should not care about this, because the good spirits, they don't care about this, guys. They only see that we are spirits in progression. They only see that we are trying our best. And my question here, guys, is, are you guys trying your best? Am I trying my best to be different, to be a different man from before? Or am I just coming here on Tuesday and reading the gospel according to Spiritism and trying to be nice? Because that's easy to do, guys. But what is hard to do, guys, is to try to make the change. But of course, sometimes we try to make the change, and those ones, they come and they doubt our will. They judge our actions, because they don't know, but they don't know what we are suffering. They don't know how difficult it is to us to be changing a bad habit. So here, Jesus is saying to us that doesn't matter, what the person says, what the person believes, we should try to love and to like one another. And here, guys, we should try to change ourselves, try to become a little bit better. At least, guys, 1%, even if it's 1% every, I don't know how long, you know. But the idea is, we come here on earth in this position. Let's go back a little bit higher. We don't have to be very, very higher. But if we came like this, let's go back a little bit higher. That's the main idea of the spirits here. That's their main suggestion to us. And that's where our goal supposed to be. Not in judging the others, not in pointing fingers to the others, not in trying to judge. Should I help that person or not? Does that person believe in what I believe or not? Is that person really, um, forgot the word, that that person deserves my pity and compassion? So am I, we see ourselves as too good because we see ourselves as a judge. We are in a judging position here. And that's the worst mistake we can do. Because once we are seeing the others as different, once we are seeing the others as, let's say, as someone that we don't care because they deserve whatever they deserve, we are in a big, big trouble, guys. Big, big trouble. So let's rethink ourselves tonight to see if we are trying to improve ourselves, if we are not doing this in our daily lives, if you are not having a fake pit, a false pit towards the other, that kind of pit that we said here that the spirit is against, that kind of pit that instead of helping someone makes that person feel uncomfortable. Because of course, if you help someone who is starving, giving a bowl of soup or a sandwich, that person cannot refuse because that person needs that. That person perhaps needs a shelter, you know. But that person will know if you are helping them, with a good intention in your heart. Because that person feels, guys, that person sees your eyes, that person sees the way that you are helping them. But that person cannot refuse because that person needs your help. So it's not an easy task, guys, you know, to don't feel this kind of wrong pity and wrong compassion towards the others. But that's what the Spiritism is trying to say to us. That's why Spiritism is based on philosophy, because he's saying to us, rethink your actions. Once you think you know, doubt yourself. Perhaps you don't know. That's why it's good to have friends. That's why it's good to have people. I have some people here watching myself here right now who helped me quite a lot recently, with some personal matters, give me nice opinions about what should I do. That's why it's good to have friends, guys, because sometimes we think we are acting, you know, better than the others, or we are doing right, but perhaps we aren't. Perhaps we are just seeing and doing what we know. That's why Jesus, once we have the apostles there, they were 12 different ones. They weren't all the same, with different opinions, different beliefs. Even most of them, all of them, they were Jewish, except for Matthew, if I'm not mistaken, because Matthew was, no, Matthew was a Jewish also. Sorry, guys. All of them, the 12 main ones, they were Jewish. Even if they were different from one another, guys. So if those people are in our life, let's, ask support and guidance to them. Because once we believe we know everything, we start to have less compassion. Once we see someone who perhaps know less than us or who has less than us. And that's a trap, guys, to believe that we are better, to believe that we know more. That's something that you have to be careful, guys. Let me see here, Don, what he said. Yeah, John, Don, sorry, you're correct. That's the movie, Contact. Very, very different from the book, I believe. People, they told me that. I haven't read the book, but still, I believe the movie is quite nice. Here we have Alessandro. Say greetings from the country that has the most of the father spirits in the world, Brazil. Yes, it's true, guys. Even if it started in France, we are the biggest spiritist country in the world. But that's it, guys. So tonight, guys, just to recap, we spoke about chapter 13, and we are closing tonight chapter 13. So we spoke on item 17 about compassion. Also on item 18, a little bit about orphans and those in need. And also here on item 19, we spoke a little bit about ungrateful people, how to act them. And here on item 20, we spoke a little bit how to deal with people who have different beliefs than us. And that closes chapter 13. We're going to start next week, myself and Steven, chapter 14, which is honor your father and your mother. Okay, guys, let me see here. So, guys, just a quick reminder, around 8:30 tonight, here, the Irish time, we're going to have our healing session through YouTube. So, if you guys want to receive healing, um, you guys can go there and connect on our YouTube page. And at 8:30, Leandro and Gilles and the healers of the group, they're going to be working on this healing, virtual healing, which is quite helpful and good, guys. I recommend everyone to join. Okay, so 8:30 tonight. Let me see here. Also, guys, for those who want to join our studies group, it's every Wednesday at 8 p.m. However, that's a closed group that you guys must send an email to us to spiritismisland@gmail.com. And once you guys send that email to us, Neji or Tanya or someone else will send you a Zoom link where you guys can participate on the studies of the spirits group. I would recommend you guys to do it. It's quite nice. You guys can ask questions. It's a really interesting topic because we have more space for discussion. It's not only like Tuesday and Thursday where myself or Stevan or someone else is talking. So it's quite nice, guys. Let me see here. Okay. I'd say, guys, that's it for tonight. We're going to be closing a bit earlier unless someone has a comment or a question. I leave, let's say, about 2 or 3 minutes. Also, let's remember, guys, that we are having every Tuesday and every Thursday at a 7:15 Irish time, and Sunday at a 11:15. We are having our sessions here on Facebook, on YouTube. So normally on Tuesday we do the study of the Gospel according to Spiritism, and then on Thursdays we do the study of the Spirit's book, and Sunday normally it's one person giving a speech about a topic related to Spiritism. So every Tuesday and Thursday 7:15, every Sunday 11:15, guys. And that's it, guys. We're gonna be closing. If I missed anything, guys, I'm sorry. So thanks for all of you guys here who are with us tonight. Again, don't miss the healing, you know. Let's do a final prayer, guys. For those who feel comfortable, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes, to take a deep breath. Let's imagine, guys, that we are in a place, a safe place, where we have good spirits, our mentor, and those who have passed away and love us. Perhaps someone from our family, perhaps a friend, perhaps someone from a previous life, guys. Doesn't matter. Let's remember that even an orphan, even someone who is alone on the streets, is not alone. Even that person, even the person who committed any type of crime is not alone. That person has its mentor, has the good spirits, and the two most important beings in their lives, Jesus and God. As Jesus has said to us, that none of the sheep that the Father gave to him would be lost. So we are all under his protection and guidance. However, it's necessary to us to open our hearts, try to connect with Jesus and the good spirits. Because once we are rebel in life, once we start to not appreciate what we have and only to be ungrateful for the life we have, even if it's a difficult one, we lose the connection with the good spirits. So let's imagine these good spirits who loves us, close to us, exchanging energy to us, saying to us, Keep going. One more step. One more day. Keep going. Do not forget that you are loved, that the good spirits, we loved you. Let's be thankful for this opportunity that we have here every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Sunday to be talking about Spiritism in Ireland in English. Luckily, we're able to reach America, the other countries in Europe. We are able to reach Brazil, Canada, Australia. Let's be thankful for this opportunity. And let's be thankful for the gospel of our Master, who is teaching us how to improve ourselves. Thank God, and so be it. That's it, guys. So, see you guys. See you, Don. See you, Trevor. Guys, thank you very much. Thanks, Leandro. Thank you, Patrocinio. Thanks here, Paula. Thank guys from Canada. Thank guys from Kardec Radio. So see you guys on Thursday. Have a good night. Bye bye. And see you in the healing also, guys. Bye bye. Take care.